Hi, let's write an essay that lists some advantages and disadvantages. This is a very common essay question in IELTS. For example, it is important for business people to understand the cultures they come into contact with, however briefly. What are the main advantages of doing so? What do you think is the main disadvantage of not doing so? Give reasons for your answer, and of course you always have to include some examples from your own knowledge or experience. Have you understood the task? The task is you have to list some advantages, and then you have to list one main disadvantage. And advantages and disadvantages of what? What is the topic? The topic is business people understanding the foreign culture that they do their business with. So you must understand the topic and the instruction words. List the main advantages and list one main disadvantage. Analyze the question carefully. That's what I'm trying to teach you. You cannot write about other types of travel. You can only write about business. As I've already said, you must list the advantages first, and then you list one disadvantage second. And you do not need to give your opinion in this essay. However, it is advisable to end with some sort of recommendation, or we also call this the author's position. Do you plan? When you think about business and culture, what comes into your mind? Do you organize your thoughts? For example, this student has thought, when a business person relates to a person from another country, it's good to know some of the customs. It's good to know a little bit of the language. It's good to know what to expect if you're eating in a foreign country with other business people. For example, customs here is blue, and immediately this student has brainstormed. What are the customs for shoes? What are the customs for sitting in a restaurant? Can I sit on the floor? Do I sit on a cushion? And what are the customs for greeting? Should I shake one hand? Should I bow? Should I do both of those? So this student is doing a good job at organizing some ideas, which is great because later this student can access good examples quickly. We have an expression in English. It goes like this: fail to plan, plan to fail. In other words, if you don't plan in IELTS, you set yourself ready for failure. So make sure you just make a very short list. Some advantages, remember the essay task, list some advantages and list one main disadvantage. So this student is going to consider the loss of money. Let's brainstorm some vocabulary. Loss of money, loss of profit, loss of revenue, loss of income. So this student is going to focus on this as the main disadvantage. Okay, here is the introduction. Take your time and read it carefully. I hope you paused the video and were able to read that. I just want to make one point here. The thesis statement in this case has no opinion. This essay aims to provide an evaluation. There is no opinion in this thesis statement because the essay question does not ask you for your opinion. But later, when I show you the conclusion, have a look. You might see some weak opinion or recommendation in the conclusion. Let's keep going. Remember, body paragraph 1 must list advantages. Now, I'm going to read this one with you so you can feel the linking techniques. In my experience, there are 3 main benefits to understanding the host culture. Firstly, it is a more enjoyable and rewarding experience. If one can do as the Romans do and enjoy the local food and daily routines, it adds to the variety of life. Also, communication is enhanced if the visiting business person can learn a few phrases or other communicative tools. Perhaps the most important advantage is that there is more profit to be made. There is a greater chance of winning a contract or developing a networking partnership once the visitor has made the attempt to learn about the new partner's way of doing business and cultural norms in business transactions. This is a very well written body paragraph. The topic sentence tells the reader that this paragraph is only about benefits. And then, because there are 3, we've got good linking words, very simple. Firstly, also, and perhaps the most important advantage is that. I'm sure you can write like that too. Now, what does body paragraph 2 need to be about? That's right, one main disadvantage. International business could be very difficult without any cross-cultural understanding. It is possible to ruin partnerships. Then there's an example. Most importantly, a contract may be lost. So all of this is about loss of business. And there are examples like not sitting on the floor, not bowing, not learning some simple phrases in the language. You can take your time, pause and read it. And here is the conclusion. In short, doing business internationally requires an understanding of the foreign culture that one wishes to do business with, for the main reason that it avoids misunderstanding and increases the opportunity for a successful business transaction. In fact, I would say it is essential in this global market. And finally, we get to see some opinion. Look at that last sentence. I would say it is essential. There is the opinion word. Also, can you see how the writer repeats ideas from the body paragraphs? The examiner expects you to summarize, to conclude, so you must repeat a little bit. Why was this essay so good? It achieved the task. It answered the question, and the student did what the question asked him. The student gave 3 advantages and then 1 main disadvantage, which was loss of business. And the coherence in this essay is excellent. Very clear topic sentences, and the conclusion matched the introduction, and then the linking techniques to help the ideas flow from one to the next were excellent. Just look at the topic again. It is important for business people to understand the cultures they come into contact with. However, briefly, what are the main advantages? And what do you think is the main disadvantage? Good luck with your IELTS.